Chut, Watto, chut. Welcome back. Once again, it is time for... I found this. This is from yesterday. Yeah, I found it on the floor today. We had a little bit of Star Wars Day hangover. Yeah, check this out. Hey, I made this t-shirt. I got this image and I right-clicked it off the and saved it. And then I put it on a t-shirt and I used this sci-fi font. And this is called Reality. This is a t-shirt I made. Make your own t-shirt and wear your own brand. I love doing that. And like yesterday's I Lost the Star Wars t-shirt, I made that. I used the Disney kind of clone font and that worked. That was my vision. I executed it and I got a great t-shirt out of that. It's pretty funny. Also the Star Wars veteran t-shirt, I made that too with like the G.I. Joe font, and just they're alarming. I live down the street from a firehouse, and so may you boys and girls get back, all of you, safely. Cheers. God bless. Namaste. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome back. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. We congregate at this comics coffee table. We get together. We take our minds off our minds. We leave the real world over there. We pull up a chair over here to our comics coffee table. We bring a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today there, pally. Pre-recorded live before a studio audience of stuffed animals. And yourself, there's a Hoppin' live chat. If you can catch the 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern premiere, the live chat premiere is always hopping, full of great people. And we talk about comic books. We're taking our break together. And you can be part of the conversation as well by contributing to the comment section. This comic book shop-style conversation. I am using my platform, my amplification, my messaging, my agenda, my activism, my evangelism. I call it Holy Ground, Highlander, or Holy Ground, Batman. It's about the LCS, the local comic book shop. And it's about my love of it and sharing this love with everyone. And I go every week. New release day is generally Wednesday. Asterisk, DC Comics, thank you. Don't worry, I like DC Comics now. But I go every Wednesday, new release day, and it's funny to see what sells out in 4 hours. Because I get there, in the early afternoon. I get to my local comic book shop, say about 3:15 in the post-meridian PM. Eastern Daylight or Eastern Standard Time, depends on what time of the year. And and so in 4 hours and 15 minutes, like, wow, you're already sold out? Like Amazing Spider-Man 25, that sold out 2 weeks ago. I was like amazing. Wow. I mean, there wasn't one left. Exactly. Will Amazing Spider-Man 26 sell out like that? We'll find out, and then we'll be talking about it all week long again. I didn't mind that conversation. We didn't talk about Amazing Spider-Man 26 we talked about it all day last week on Wes's Thinking Critical. It was a great conversation. I was blessed to be and grateful to be part of. You can check it out on his station there. I'll leave a link for it. And it's because we don't know the story yet. We only have the spoiler images of a certain character's, demise. It's comic book death. They'll get better. They always do, don't they? And read the show notes. Okay, that's right. Yes. Okay, this year we are rebagging, reboarding, reboxing my entire comic book collection. Along the way, I am not a speculator. I'm just getting my head around that game. I found it fascinating. So I'm arming myself with information. I got the Overstreet Comic Books Price Guide and the Overstreet Guide to Grading Comics. You can find links to both of these in the description, and you can get your own copies and you can play along at home. And this is about, codifying that 10-point rating system that is an industry standard. there are many interpretations of it, just as there are many interpretations of the ages of comic books. It's just, I feel, and this is pretty cool that we have this, but Overstreet is an industry standard, and we can rely upon it, and we can also agree on it as common ground as well. And then we can explain our interpretation, but if we can't agree on Overstreet, I don't know how we can agree at all. I don't know. I mean, seriously, I mean, you got a better standard than Overstreet? I mean, or something more widely accepted, or something that is common sense and brass tacks, then that's, comic book collection and price guides are fairly based in other collectors markets such as coins and stamps and arrowheads. Yes, I mean, like, hello. And but this has been great too. So while I'm going through my comic book collections, literally handling every single one of them, with at least putting a board in that bloody bag if it doesn't need a new bag, then we have the opportunity to be like, how much is this worth, and what do you think the condition is for real? Because you go to a convention and you have these wonderful dollar bins full of comics and old friends that are in what seemingly see to be pretty darn good condition. They have run a spectrum of ratty to really okay. So I've been surprised at the quality. How like you have to like, oh wow, this must be like banged up on some level. I got it for $1. Usually the book, if it's at a 9.2, a near mint. See, we can look at that's how the page is arrayed. See up there, GD is 2.0, very very good. 4.0, fine. 6.0, very fine. 8.0, very fine / near mint. 9.0, near mint minus. 9.2. So there are a couple other decimals above that, leading up to 10, and that's the 10-point rating scale. And there, you're dependent on the condition of your funny book. Well, that's how much it's going to be worth if you took good care of it. It was only going to be worth that high price if it's a 9.2 or above. Good luck with that. I mean, that's just like, is that more than bag and board? Is that at the slab? I haven't slabbed a comic. I haven't bought a slabbed comic. I like reading comics. So, like, I love those dollar bins. So it just makes me look at my own collection, and I'm like, wow, are all of you old friends and floppies destined to be in a dollar bin someday, decades hence, when I'm dust, when my dust has been shot up to Mars? Hey, that's like, hey, listen, living will stuff. Like, if you can, maybe, I can find a way to make a bank account and pay for it with the interest by then. But take my ashes and send them to Mars. Yeah, and maybe have a little a little a thumb drive full of this blog, full of this channel, and my pictures and my writings and shit like that, and shoot that let me go home to Mars. They used to call me Eric the Martian in grade school, because my head was perpetually in the clouds and above the clouds in space. Most of you kids had the Shire and the Hobbits and Aragorn and the Ranger, but I had the Death Star, and I had snow speeders and land speeders and Jedi Knights and Sith Lord, Dark Lords of the Sith. And that was, and Buck Rogers in Battlestar Galactica and Space 1999 and Last Starfighter, and but just the sci-fi of the 70s is what primed my mind. Star Trek. Space 1999. Battlestar Galactica. Star Blazers. Formatted my hard drive. And, but yeah, Eric the Martian. So, send me home. Send me back to Mars, please. But I mean, I think, just like a vial of of my ashes. I'm talking decades and decades and decades. And something like that is viable and affordable too. Geez. But yeah, like with a kind of like with a thumb drive that just like it has this YouTube channel, all of these cooking videos and all of these moments lost in time like tears in rain. Or we could put it on a thumb drive and shoot up to Mars with my ashes. Some kid can find it in a couple hundred years, be like, Daddy, what's a YouTube? What's a Pikachu? No, you'll still be popular then. I swear, Pikachu is eternal. Indeed. The coffee table was always where my friends and I would congregate, would shoot the breeze. How do you do? And there would always be, like, some drinks. Depending on what time of day, it would be coffee and juice. Or, if it's late at night, it would be beers and drinks. Perhaps an overflowing ashtray. It was the 20th century. But no, this is also 21st century too, and we all quit smoking cigarettes as well. And but there will always be a stack of books. On the coffee table, there would be a stack of movies. There's a movie, yeah. There would be a stack of music, and a stack of comic books too. Would always be trying to turn each other on to something hip and something fun and worth your attention, your time, and sharing the love. It's a lot of so this in that spirit, we meet here at this comics coffee table. Also, last year's book, I love that meme. Yeah, last year's book is it's a coffee table book. It was given to me by one of my best friends about 2 decades ago, and it's served my coffee table ever since. So there's a lot. The show has its roots on the coffee table. It's the most sensible place. It's a room for everyone. You pull up a chair. You have a coaster. Please use coasters on my coffee table. You mind? You savage. You bloody savage. Don't say that. You're going to get... Shut the... Please, just use coasters. Individual. Use backboards and use coasters, darn it. Thank you. Let's get to it. I hope you are enjoying your day. I hope that you are clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. I hope you are running your mood and not having your mood run you. There's an intrinsic choice to be made. Also, today I start my summer break. I'm going to be going on a diet. I'm going to be volunteering to suffer. But that's it. It's about sacrifice. You stop something to make room for something else. And for me, it's about returning to a lifestyle that I established, that I made very, very tenable and attainable. And I need to lose some weight. And I'm taking I can't do it at work. I'm a chef. I'm surrounded by food. Food makes you feel good. You get exhausted. You get tired. Being a chef is an aerobic job. I'm on my feet for 8 straight hours. I don't stop. I will pop a slice of pizza in my mouth, and it keeps me going. I will pop an Almond Joy or a Twix. It keeps me going. I'll have a donut. Yeah, they're there. They're yesterday's donuts, so we're going to throw it out. Don't throw that out. It's a jelly donut from yesterday. Yeah, I'll eat that. It's not that stale. I know you can't, exactly. Like, I'll eat that jelly donut. Don't throw away food. But I need to be able to put myself in a position where I can suffer in peace. Dieting is suffering. It really is. That's reality. Yeah. So yeah, I did make this T-shirt. Yeah. So I make your own T-shirts. Be clever. They have T-shirt generators on Amazon, and use them. I love making my own T-shirts. Be your own brand. Say make your own statement. I love that. And we have the ability to do it, and it's affordable, too. It's not a hassle. You can go to the T-shirt generator, click point, type, and in less than 5 minutes or so, You can order your own T-shirts. Plaid Palpatine, my internet alter ego of evil and of the dark side, has his own line of T-shirts. You know, it was so cute. I've worn them a lot. You'll see them again and again. But yeah, this is my Plaid Palpatine T-shirts. It's like I like wearing other stations' T-shirts too because I think that's fun. Would I start selling my own T-shirts? Well, let's burn that bridge when we cross it. But a part of this show is using my activism, my voice, my evangelism, my platforming, my amplification, however you want to classify this experience, this platforming of YouTube. I'm going to use my voice to tell you to get back to your local comic book shop. There are lots of new viewers. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. Great time right now to click on that subscribe button. We're growing and growing, and we just love hanging out once a day talking about comic books. It's totally doable, and we're the ones that keep this conversation going, and it's in the tone and the style of the comic book shop, where it doesn't get that outragey, and it doesn't get as pointed and as anonymous. It's definitely not anonymous at the local comic book shop, and so internet life has its anonymities that can be respected or not respected. Of course I respect people's anonymity, but I just it's just being in your local comic book shop. You're standing right next to another human being. You're in each other's space, literally, and you've agreed to enter this space and behave. Don't shame the owner. Don't cause trouble. You know what I mean? Don't make it's what is this, a Waffle House? No, it's a local comic book shop. Treat it with respect. I treat it as holy ground. Holy ground, Highlander, or holy ground, Batman. The local comic book shop. I'm buying my supplies there. That's the whole point. My evangelism here on this pulpit, the Reverend Sully beseeches you to get thine ass to thy local comic book shop, the mom and pop brick and mortar shop, and spend your money there. I could be, getting a price break, getting anything delivered to me for free, using my online supply chain that doesn't help keep my local comic book shop open. So that's my evangelism. That's my message. Spend your money at your local comic book shop. It's a local business. If it survived lockdown 2020, we're blessed and grateful. They need our patronage. And so choose other than the big box store. They'll be there. Big box stores are there for those needs. When you need 3 tubes of toothpaste like that. But when you need snugs, boards, and boxes, get them from your LCS. Mentally agree to pay the retail markup, because it's helped keeping that store open. And I could be getting a huge price break ordering online, but I love my local comic book shops, and I feel it's my duty, and it's reality too. I mean, just we can keep our local comic book shops open. They can contribute by running a good shop and keeping their books in order and doing what needs to be done and not getting backed up on invoices. It's like that in restaurants too. Restaurants are fly by night. It takes a few years for a restaurant to become successful and get a reputation and get clientele. But if you're not a restaurant chain, you're a mom and pop kind of shop, and it's a local business. So comic book shops are a lot like the restaurants that I've grown up in. You have a charming individual staff. You have like house rules. You have a boss who can hire and fire. You can have bad days. Your customer service. You have to deal with the public, one-on-one. With people walking in the door, non-appointment. Or appointment. You could probably you could take reservations or have. Hey, can I come by and look at your Silver Age collection, please, at 3:00? I'm Eric. I'm going to spend some money. Can we talk about price? I want to talk to someone that can negotiate. But local comic book shops are important to me. Are they important to you? I hope so, and I hope that you are buying your supplies there. And if the pulpit. Thank you so very much. And let's see. Yeah, we're just boarding. We're bagging. So we're getting my boxes there. I'm getting short boxes now because I'm getting old, and those long boxes get wicked heavy. And I'm getting my bags there. I took a chance on these resealable bags. I've never got them before. They're polypyrate. And Sully stumbles over words. Entrepreneur took me decades to enunciate correctly. These archival safe, acid-free polypropylene bags. There are 100 in here. And they have a resealable tab. Here, see this like little piece of tape? You can pull it off and it becomes, it's tacky, like, because it's tape. And you can open and close it at will, and it's not going to stick. It's not going to be a piece of exposed tape that's going to stick to your cover. You know what I mean? It takes a lifetime to get to negotiate the muscle memory and body skills in order to avoid that, fate. I'm also getting my acid-free boards. Oh, I need more boards. Oh, good. Stupid. It's like 15. It's $15 for 100 of these, and these costs all add up. I mean, seriously, 1.5 cents for every one of these, and it's what I mean. What's about it? I hate doing math. I don't want to do math, but how much does this add on to the price of a comic book that's not worth it's even its cover price? So what is it worth to bag and board? I don't know. I think it's fun. I think my collection really needs some love. It really does. I just want to I want to love these comics, and I'm also not going to bag and board everything. Like, seriously, does this need a bag and a board? They need new bags. They definitely do. I mean, what's this? What is this, Sully? Well, let's look at them. What is this? These are funny books. These got me into a fight with Scott Snyder in real, on social media. That happened. Okay, so this is what I do. Instead of just dropping them, I don't have a waste paper basket right here, so I'm going to take one bag. And see, I can feel it. It's a tactile thing. These are so flimsy. This is lived life. It needs a new bag. So I will take one bag and I'll use it to hold all the others, because I've slipped and fallen on being stupid. Okay, I'm going to put 2 in here. Okay, this is leading up to Dark Knight's Metal. This is like the two, $4.99. These totally lead up to a Scott Snyder, James Tynion, with art by Jim Lee, Andy Kubert, John Romita Jr., inks by Scott Williams, Klaus Janson, and Danny Miki. And it's just, this is like an all-star book. Oh, geez. Some Jim Lee art. Where's that Capullo? I should be able to tell this apart, shouldn't you? But yeah, this is what was the nature of the fight? Well, the guy in yellow there, that's Batman's that was Scott Snyder's contribution to Batman's family. That's Duke Thomas. Great character. He introduced him in Zero Year. He saves Batman as a kid. And so the 5 years later, he's now a teenager, and he becomes a new type of sidekick for Batman, but he's not a Robin. And one of this mystery that he had going on was what's Duke's code name going to be? And he let slip in a solicit that it was going to be called the Signal. I was upset. It was because it's like, geez, you just spoiled only it's funny what comic book fans like. And ooh, hello. All right. You all need bags? Yeah, you pretty much do. It starts here for me. It's the New Avengers Annual #1. Brian Michael Bendis, Olivia Copiel. Let's look at this funny book. Of course, we have Spine Crack. This is a great issue. I like this story a lot. Let's see. Oh boy. Yeah. This is the wedding of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. And this is, yeah, this is a great page. Look at everyone right there, okay? The Sentry's there, but we got Steve, the Sentry. Wait, we got Steve Rogers. That's the Sentry. There's Tony Stark. There's Carol Danvers. There's Peter Parker. There's Jessica Drew, who's actually the fucking Skrull Queen, the Skrull Queen, right? There's Logan. There's Luke. There's Jessica, and there's baby Danielle, and those were the new Avengers. That was the new Avengers team, and I really liked those years. I really liked those comic books, and this is what directly leads into Civil War, and this is actually one of my favorite modern Peter Parker moments, and why I felt like. Why I felt that Peter Parker and Tony Stark's friend. This is what began the MCU version of Peter Parker and Tony Stark, and it's great. Like this, like little battlefield stuff. It's kind of weird because they're both wearing red and gold because it's Peter in his scarlet in his Iron Spider outfit. So he's wearing Tony's colors, in a way. And so they're fighting a super adaptoid, and Tony's lost hope, and how this battle's going, and Peter says to him like, no, take your problem and flip it, and because if you know what the adaptoid's superpower is, it just absorbs your superpower and then makes it a weapon against yourself, and so. Peter just gives him the most solid advice. And then he appears to run away from the fight while Tony goes and does something based upon Peter's advice. And here we go. We have Carol Danvers. Likeable Carol Danvers. Before she's before she's Captain Marvel. I think she's still Warbird here. And here we go. Fastball special. Isn't that cool? Aerial style. Airborne. But look at this fucking nice. Look at this beautiful splash page. In the panel arrangement. Olivier Copiel. He just did an issue of The Ambassadors with Mark Miller. This is an amazing artist. But what he does, this is flip it, Tony. No, Tony, flip it. So what Tony does is get every one of his old armors. Doesn't this happen in like Iron Man 3 as well? When did this come out? Wow. To the Indicia Colophone. Wow, June 2006. Iron Man 1 didn't come out until 2008. That means Iron Man 3 won't come out until, what, 2013? Very interesting. But yeah, I mean, these are the storyboards, where they get their ideas from. And so, so what? Just keep hitting the super adaptoid over and over again with each unique power from each of these old armors. I love seeing armors. I love Tony's different armors, like the undersea armor, the outer space armor, the Silver Centurion, the Mark I, the Mark IV, the stealth suit, which is my all-time favorite. I might be getting a 6th scale. There's a really good 6th scale of that Invincible Iron Man 152 cover style. It's the $375. But yeah, this is a really good single issue. I love annuals. They're extra thick, extra story, and this is like one of the last times Tony and Steve are tight together and best friends before Civil War #1. Yeah, indeed. We'll get into this in detail tomorrow. We're gonna look up some price. We're gonna refer to the book, and as I like to say, hey, the turkey's done. So So let's rebag, reboard, and rebox. Well, it's a new box anyway, but here we go. The spirit of the show. Open your bag. Put your funny book on your board. Put your funny book and board in the bag. And gravity does the rest. Fold over. I could use the resealable. I'm not. I'm going to use one piece of tape. And that's Avengers Annual. New Avengers Annual number 1 for 2006. It's a really awesome story. Love this funny book. Remember, Ryan Michael Bendis used to own Marvel. I mean, and he became, you know, what happened to Bendis? I mean, that's its own conversation. We should have that conversation. We will have that conversation. Remind me, and we shall have that conversation. But we're going to bundle and price, as just as an exercise, this Civil War collection of mine. We've been talking all this time about Amazing Spider-Man 26. Well, what about Amazing Spider-Man? What's it? 533. See, that's the trade dress for Civil War. And this is where Peter does something kind of stupid, I guess. But he was peer pressured. He was asked to choose a side. I mean, Civil War is just a really interesting place to talk about Marvel. We're going to talk about Civil War all day tomorrow. That's tomorrow's show. But thank you so much for tuning in today. We've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. And we talk about comic books every day, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, daily. Join us in the live chat premiere conversation. There's always a lot of cool cats there. We got new people tuning in all the time. And please leave a comment in the comment section. Keep this comic book shop style conversation alive. YouTube's great and it unites us, in social media we can all, talk about stuff, but nothing can replace the honest, genuine, authentic social experience of love for our hobby as going to the local comic book shop, spending time talking to the staff and each other, and buying books and supplies there, and keeping a local business strong. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.